Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Broads. I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing right now. Damn, I thought we had it. And I'm not even talking about after Bryce Harper's home run. And trust me, we'll spend a lot of time on Bryce Harper in today's show. Book it! I guarantee it, all right? Because I have so much to say about his greatness. 300 home runs. The dude doesn't feel one lick of pressure when the game gets the tightest. That's when he shines. I can't fathom it. I don't know how he is so locked in mentally. The guy is a stud. He's just a flat-out stud. Kissing his jersey, got the chills. So unreal. But I'm talking about after the 3-run jack by Trea Turner. Because this team has this whole entire thing planned out. We're going to fall down early. Christopher Sanchez will give up a 2-run shot. And for my guy Sanchez, not the best afternoon. 4 2/3. He had a bad throw of his own, which probably should go against his ERA. I don't know if you heard the debate by McCarthy and Crucky during the game, but if you have the error, that should go against your earned runs. If anybody else in the field starts throwing the ball around and allowing others to go farther and move up a couple bags or whatever the case is, then, okay, it doesn't get plugged towards your numbers. But that's not really important. What's important is this team went 7-2 in a 9-game homestand. And, yeah, it does suck. Today would have been so much more fun. I loved the show last night, right? I'm just giving it to you how I feel. I am on 1,000 right now, and there's nothing sweeter than sitting down on my couch and appreciating this. And when I see Bryce Harper kiss his jersey and look at that fan base and oh my God, let's get right to what happened last night, right? So I do the post-game show, and as soon as I start uploading everything when I'm done, I see that Bryce Harper listens to WIP as he's driving to his games, and he goes, the 2 o'clock hour. There's this guy, Chuck from Mount Airy, who calls it all the time. He's hilarious. And he got me so fired up, I walked into the clubhouse and said, I want to hit a home run for Chuck. At times you laugh because you think that he just he embellishes things. He plays into the media. He plays into the city because he knows how crazy we are, how obsessed we are, and we love him to death that he wants to just play the game. But then there's the other side where, no, this is actually Bryce. He walks Center City as if he's just the norm. He goes to Wawa. He gets the coffee from Wawa. He does all the South Jersey stuff, heads to the shore, goes to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. He is one of us, and he casually just cruises into his game while listening to what we talk about nonstop with this baseball team and with the Birds. It's so hard to really absorb to what level Bryce Harper is. And when he's appreciating the fan base back after such a big moment, it made me realize, while the contract is long, and he will be in a Phillies uniform for a long period of time, don't let this happen too fast. You know what people say all the time when they have kids, and the kid gets to be about 4 or 5 years old? They say, where did the time go? Just yesterday, I remember them being 8 months. I remember being in the delivery room and looking at their eyes for the first time. And now they're in middle school. And now they're graduating high school. They're on their way to college. We're dropping them off at the dorm. Sometimes you just have to nod your head and remember to live in the moment and embrace what you're seeing now. Enjoy the present. We're always worried about, well, what's our day like tomorrow? What do I have to do over the weekend? You're always looking ahead. Or, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that during a meeting. You're looking in the past at something that already happened, and you're starting to question it and replay it in your head over and over again and nitpicking it. Don't do that. Smile. Enjoy. Because Bryce Harper, I debated this on my TikTok the other day. I said, could Brian Dawkins ever be surpassed by Bryce Harper? There's a handful of athletes that hit a certain point. Allen Iverson changed culture. Brian Dawkins, there's not one person in this city that doesn't have Brian Dawkins in their top 2 of favorite Philadelphia athletes ever. We could be there with Brian. He could be the greatest Philadelphia athlete ever. And that's no disrespect to anybody else. It just shows you what type of weapon he really is. He's a face of the entire game. And we get to rep him. And the plate appearances, when everybody's looking in his direction, it's not even a doubt. You don't even wonder for a second what's about to happen. You know it's about to happen. Think about what type of talent you are when that's the case. You're more stunned when he strikes out with the man in scoring position in the 9th inning with 2 men on, with 2 outs, down 1. When he throws something into the gap, nice nonchalant little poke job to the left field side, and he gets to second base. He beats the throw. He beats the tag, and he does the big nut celebration looking at everybody standing over the railing. This is more a message of, I know you can say you're aware of how great he is and you're aware of the specialty. It's easy to lose sight of it. And that's basically what I'm trying to stress today to everybody out there. Don't let it run by you way too fast, where you're looking back in the rearview mirror. And I can't wait to see what September is like, considering this August I could have never seen coming. The ball's flying right now, jumping off those bats. And unfortunately, Craig Kimbrel threw a pitch where it happened over the outside part of the plate. And your bullpen wasn't very sharp today. Gregory Soto with a couple walks. Sir Anthony Dominguez didn't help out the case either. And with Craig Kimbrel, I've been saying this for a little bit now. With him, I think it's more of it all balancing out. That's what it is. He was so stellar for so long. I think he's starting to blow a couple of games here and have a couple blown saves after the All-Star break because he wasn't going to keep up that pace forever. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm willing to just give up games. A 7-2 homestand, though, I'm not going to freak out with any negativity. Their brand is really starting to show. Their chemistry is blossoming. So this, well, you swept the previous opponent. You beat the Cardinals. You took 3 from them. You had 2 major comebacks in Game 3 of this game. And also, let's highlight this. What's happening with the Angels right now? You have guys that are on waivers, and you got an ownership that is lost, and they are an embarrassment to anybody who's involved in professional sports. You don't think that there's a level of disrespect? You don't think Hunter Renfroe, for example, he murdered a baseball, he did some things out there. You don't think you're pissed off? You don't think that they have some fight in them and some pride because they're getting so damn disrespected? They lose 2 games to this team on the road, and they have some life to show the baseball world that if you want to make a run, you should add me to your roster. You should pick me up. I can definitely help out, and let's go on some sort of magical journey. You don't think that they have that level of faith inside of themselves to push back when the Phillies really try and clamp down? I do believe that there's an element of that because the level of disrespect is so potent. It's so rare what we're witnessing, and it's such a disaster that the guard goes up. You're backed up against the wall, and if you have any sort of pulse as a pro, you respond to that. Some of them did, and I think maybe that's why this game did have a different ending. I think that there's a sour taste in some of their mouths. I love the fact, though, that my bottom of the lineup is killing it. I love it. Rojas even got robbed out in center field. What a crazy athletic catch. His vertical leap was absurd, and he was reaching backwards over his head. It was a bizarre, crazy athletic catch. But Rojas, who knows what that could have turned into. And Kyle Schwarber, Turner had a bases loaded spot. He failed there. And Kyle Schwarber had first and third. Once again, Garrett Stubbs and Brandon Marsh, but he grounded out into a double play, which ended the inning and unfortunately ended whatever spark could have been for the Phillies offense there. Let's just take this off day. You have an off day on Thursday. Don't get too cold. Don't get too comfortable. We got to let this really grab onto one another and start a wildfire. So let's see what happens in Milwaukee. Nick Castellanos had 3 hits. That's something I wanted to point out too. But yeah, it sucked to see Sanchez that way. You figure he was due because it's quality start after quality start after quality start. The dude's been perfect for you in a 5th starter role. Your 5th starter will have an uh-oh, and this was his uh-oh. And there were some other things that happened. Trea Turner took a little too long to get the ball out of his glove for an infield single. And the entire team played a role in maybe how the outcome happened. And then you fall down 2-0. But 2-0 for this team is absolutely nothing, especially when there's so many more innings to go and so many more times that Bryce Harper gets to hear his walk-up song and then has time to settle into that batter's box. I don't think I'm ever going to miss an at-bat again in my life from him. I don't care where I am. I don't care what I'm doing in my life at that particular time. Whenever his walk-up music starts to play, I have to get zoned in and throw it up on the app on my phone if I'm driving a plane, if I'm talking to the President of the United States, any of them, any previous one. This is no political show. You name it. Whatever it is. Babies being born. Whatever example you want to use. I have to watch it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with him casually turning the knob and listening to Chuck from Mount Airy. Give me a city where that happens. Give me an example of a star speaking to the media after a win and throwing out callers' names and saying, oh yeah, you know what got me pumped up today? Sometimes I play for my family. I play for the logo. I play for everybody out there. And Chuck is technically everybody out there. But to zone in and go full name, where he's from, all of it. It sucks because it's bad for that shtick. I'm not a big fan of some of the callers and their shticks on some of the shows, but it's part of what is that show. I'm not a big fan of hearing Chuck from Mount Airy. He's not my favorite caller in the entire world. Give me another city where they are talking about their everyday sports talk radio callers and how much influence there is and how much mojo is happening and the adrenaline rush as he's preparing for the game that night. You'll never find it. Because it is ridiculous to even think that this is real. And it is real. And not only did he choose us, sometimes you get a free pass because you do choose us, but maybe you don't live up to the expectations. There were dopes and idiots and morons that mocked the Phillies and mocked John Middleton and mocked everyone in this franchise for deciding to give him that contract. Remember that? Manny Machado, Bryce Harper. Is he really worth it? We got made fun of for a long period of time. Now, some of that is jealousy because you didn't end up winning the prize. Well, I didn't like the prize anyway. Here's a free Xbox. Who wants it? Who can have it? And then you're waving, me. You have your hands up. Somebody else gets selected, and then you go, well, that's the disc-only version anyway. Or, that's the no-disc version, and you can only download games anyway. Well, what's the downfall of Bryce? Remember, it was poor defense, or you're going to be worried when you're spending all that money when he's in his late 30s? No! No, not when you have an owner who's willing to spend. And I don't care if the first 8 years, if the first 9 years is this. And guess what? It is this. It's MVP. It's get to the World Series. It's major clutch spots against the Braves. It's a huge bomb against the San Diego Padres. We're talking postseason. We're talking legit fall time. None of this spring crap. Regular season wins are awesome. And regular season moments are awesome. And this is probably as cool of a moment as you could find in a regular season game, getting 300. And you could even hear the way that he's got so much drive to get more. He goes, when I was growing up and when I was picturing all this and I was seeing my career when I was young, you dream of 300. You dream of 300 more. You don't think of number 1, number 2, and number 3. You probably do think of number 1. You think about the first crack at it you get and what you're going to do around the bases and the feelings inside. I'd imagine number 1 you do dream of. But man, this guy just has a different sense of urgency and a different dial. I'm laughing. I can't even keep it straight because I'm blown away. I'm blown away on how, forget us for a second, how someone could even be that great at a craft. I wonder what it's like to see the game from his eyes. To be in the batter's box and have that skill set against this level of pitching. Is it the same as us trying to hit it off the tee? The ball's not even moving, and you're taking batting practice, you're hitting off the tee right into the backstop, right? Or you're doing some soft toss stuff. How big is that baseball? And when you connect perfectly with the barrel and you have a no-doubter, what's that feel like? I have no idea and I'll never know. But I do know what it's like having Bryce Harper in my corner, okay? Putting on my uniform every single day when lacing up the cleats. And I wouldn't want it any other way. Remember, before we start taking calls, the next time you're watching him, soak it in. Soak it in for the rest of the year. Soak it in every game you get to. Don't let it fly by. Can't believe I'm saying that after a loss when they could be 8-1 in a 9-game stand. All jokes aside, though, right? He could have went 8-1. Oh, do I want to be greedy? Oh, do I want to light the baseball world on fire where we're taking headlines? And quite frankly, we are. You see all the national stuff, MLB Network. Look what the numbers are after Trea Turner gets that standing ovation. And you know what? I don't even remember if I read this yet. So if I did already, I'm an idiot. If I didn't, Corey Seidman said Brandon Marsh has walked twice today. This was after his second walk. He is hitting .291 with a .379 on-base percentage. The only Philly in the last 15 years with a high batting average and an OBP like this in a full season is Bryce Harper. That's what Brandon Marsh is doing. Significant splits between lefty and righty. It's not the same as Bryson Stott against lefties. Bryson Stott with 2 strikes. But think about what they saw in Brandon Marsh. Dave Dombrowski recognized that he was a high talented prospect for a reason. There was a ton of buzz on what he could be, and he never panned out in LA. Why? There's something we can work with. That's what he saw. He's hitting .229 against lefties, but .312 against righties with a .905 OPS. Trea Turner's OPS is going through the roof right now over the last month. Things you don't see at a clip that is not even recognizable. That's what Trea Turner has done. A lot of these guys, they're just producing at a high clip. And since we're on some numbers right now, it's weird. I talked about it in yesterday's show a little bit, the same amount of home runs for Bryce Harper and Alec Boehm. Yesterday, Bryce Harper's was updated during the show, and he was at 14. And I went to Alec Boehm thinking that would be updated too, and his said 14. But then I listened to the pregame show today, and they were saying Alec Boehm hit his 15th. And I'm like, what? Bryce Harper's? was uploaded and updated, but Bohm's wasn't. I find that strange, unless I was wrong with both of them right now, and even this sounds silly. But I'm pretty sure I was right, because now Bryce Harper should have 15, and now they should be tied. I said they were tied yesterday, but Alec Bohm actually had one more than him. I thought once it gets updated on MLB.com, it would get updated through everybody. I guess I don't know as much as I thought I did in life. This is why I talk to you, though. This is why you have a chance to speak to me, so I can be educated, so I can learn, and so I can understand how you all are feeling in the Phillies world. Let's do it.
Well, Broads, you can't win them all. I mean, you certainly can't say that the offense didn't do enough to win the game. Still a great homestand, a lot to be super happy about, just a bit of a downer. The only thing I will say is a bit of a growing concern with Kimbrel right now, with this thing where it's linked, how much work he does to how well he pitches. Wondering, if he's going to be the guy in the playoffs, he's going to have to be the guy every time. So, I don't know, maybe he needs himself a nice stint on the IL, take some time off, but we'll see. Otherwise, still super happy, love this team, and let's go kick the ass of the Brewers.
That's right. Kick some ass is exactly what I'm looking for. I get the talking point of Craig Kimbrel for sure. I'm in a position where I'm just, it's not a faith thing where I'm just putting all my faith or putting all my eggs in one basket and playing the waiting game. I've just seen him at his peak this year, and there's been seasons where he has flopped, and there's been seasons where he hasn't been really sharp recently. So maybe he could fall right back into that, and then we are in a troubled spot, and someone else has to pick up the slack, and maybe it becomes Jose Alvarado, or it becomes somebody else, Sir Anthony Dominguez, even though I say that with about 0.00001% of seriousness. It's probably going to be Alvarado or Craig Kimbrel. I'm looking at this more of every single relief pitcher has a rough spot. Every single one of them has a down spiral. I think Craig Kimbrel finds it. I don't think he's collapsing. I don't see this as a downfall that he won't pick himself back up. I think it's a late end of the year road blockage, and you're sitting there waiting for construction to finish. If we're going to use a metaphor, if that's what we're doing today. Throwing out the metaphor, I guess. You're waiting in traffic, and you have to get through the construction. Right around the Walt Whitman Bridge on 42. It is gross. It is the worst. But that's how I'm playing this mentally with the Craig Kimbrel thing. Maybe I'm wrong to do so, but that's what I'm doing.
Hey, Broads. Well, this was, maybe I'm just being selfish, but I really wanted this W. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little heartbroken on this. But you know what? This was an amazing homestand. Going 7-2 on a homestand is definitely nothing to sneeze at. And, we didn't slow down exactly. Our pitching just messed up a little bit. So we're still chugging along, I think. I hope. I don't know. There's just that little seed of doubt putting me after that little performance by Kimbrel. Anyways, let's go kick some Brew Crew butt this weekend. Peace.
So we got two ass kickings to end the calls. Okay, I'm there too. That sounded very similar. We got two guys on the same exact page with Craig. I have no doubt. I'm not sitting in doubt right now. Not at all. And I'm not really that heartbroken over this one. It stings. It sucks. Of course, I wanted to be really reacting to Bryce Harper more. I had fun saying what I said, and I got plenty more. Trust me, this mouth is not zipping anytime soon in regards to saying the name Bryce Harper. You're going to get annoyed by it, really, by the end. It's going to be too obnoxious. What's that? Me? Too obnoxious? I wish we were talking more Trea Turner. More! We're not. It sucks. I'm in appreciation mode. I'm in 7-2 in 9 mode. I'm in there's no reason to feel any sort of No matter what reason it is, I'm not there. Yesterday it was Castro. Why are they playing Castro? Why isn't others? Why aren't we keeping our young buck in there? Stott's doing fantastic. Why are we playing around things? I ain't worried about it. Won the game. And from this view, while it does leave out context, and you know I hate when you leave out context, they were in a position to win the game with their closer in the 9th inning. Failing there hurts. With that, though, you lost a game where Christopher Sanchez started and went 4 2/3. And does that make sense? You lose a game with your 5th starter who goes 4 2/3, allowed a 2-run shot. There was some sloppiness defensively for a bit. So you lost the game with your 5th starter. Let's hit the reset button. Let's hit the road and let it spiral and spiral and spiral into something great. Don't let it stop. All right, what's next?
Let's give it up for Craig Kimbrel, guys. Let's give it up for Craig Kimbrel. Woo! Wow. What a fucking pathetic performance from him. My God. Bryce Harper hits how clutch is Bryce Harper? How clutch is he? Unbelievably clutch. Salutes the fans. Another huge home run that he hits. And for the second time, he hits such a huge home run. Kind of like when you're talking about clutch moments. He hit that home run against the Giants that tied it 5-5. Another clutch moment, and we squander it. And Kimbrel has sucked lately. He's been terrible lately. He needs to get out of the closing spot. I'm sorry for yelling and stuff like that.
You're not allowed to yell on this show. You didn't get the memo?
But I am so pissed off. And because the fact of the matter is we're 7-2 in this homestand. It's amazing. It's awesome. I would have taken it all day, any day. But there's no reason why the Phillies should have lost this game. You get 2 enormous home runs from Trea Turner and Bryce Harper. And, of course, Man Bun comes out of the bullpen.
Whoa. Now you're attacking the Man Bun. Do you know what I have? Oh, man. I didn't agree with you from the start. Maybe I'm off base here, because everyone so far has attacked Craig pretty aggressively. Maybe I'm off base, but you don't come touch the flow, all right? You don't come this way when it comes to the hair. You know how important that is to me. To stand up for the community. All right, I'll let you finish.
And gives it up. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely annoying. I can't. I'm sorry. It's just, wow.
I'm confused. Should I be confused? Is there hatred for Craig Kimbrel? I saw a Twitter poll that said, would you want Craig Kimbrel to close out a playoff game? Yes or no? And no was leading 78%. They had 78% of the votes. Well, who are you going to? I wish there was something better right now. Jose Alvarado hasn't even been available for you all year. Sir Anthony doesn't look the same. What do you want to do? This is your closer. Guy didn't even give up a save for all the half of the year until the All-Star break. Maybe I'm not on the right pulse right now. I don't know. What I am going to do, though, is I was going to wrap it up, but I'm curious if call number 4 has frustration with Craig, too. Will I find anybody? Do I keep this going until somebody eventually goes by without crushing him as intensely? In passing, fine. If you're calling in about the game, of course it's going to be referenced. I don't know. Maybe I'm the wackadoo.
Unacceptable.
Oh, God.
Terrible.
Uh-oh.
Pitiful.
Oh, no.
Disgusting.
Wow.
This team really knows how to jerk my can around, if you know what I'm saying. This team really loves to kick my marbles when they're down. This Phillies team, God, I love them, but sometimes, God, I hate them. It's games like this where you have an opportunity to sweep another team that's not making the playoffs, and you fall flat. Granted, you make a good comeback. Giving up a home run to end it off? Letting the Angels win? Disgraceful, despicable, disgusting, horrid. Play better.
Wow. All right, well, technically, it wasn't as aggressive towards Craig Kimbrel, right? All right, we'll say this. Would you describe me as a passionate Phillies fan? Let's just say hypothetically the answer is yes. Your opinion could be no, but let's say the answer is yes. We got to know there's a line somewhere. I feel the Anytime Hotline today crossed the line a little bit. I love you all, though. I really do. I love you. I wouldn't want it any other way. I love this bond that we have. I feel like it's a Bryce Harper and the city of Philadelphia relationship. That's us. I'm not putting myself on that type of pedestal, by the way. I'm more of a Garrett Stubbs, okay? I'm Garrett Stubbs. But I'm just saying athlete relationship, bang, it's peanut butter and jelly, that combination right now between those two. That's us. That's us. But today we had a little bit of a brotherly love backyard fight. You play pickup baseball with your friend wiffle ball when you're younger. You peg someone a little too hard, and then maybe you tackle them to the ground. There's a couple fisticuffs that happen before your mom comes out. Hey, get your hands off your brother. Maybe that's what just happened. I love you all. You're the greatest people in the world. I promise you that. I love you. We'll be talking soon.